Now let's turn back to news from home, and if you're sick of being slugged a surcharge every time you use your debit card to buy something, well, you're obviously not alone. No. We're all frustrated with it. A small group of Labor MPs, though, is urging the Reserve Bank to ban card surcharges entirely.
It is part of their submission to the Reserve Bank. They're also asking for merchant fees to be dramatically reduced. MP for Bennelong, Jerome Laxale, is leading the charge. He joined us now. G'day, Jerome. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, really great to be here, Mike, and thanks for shining a light on this really important topic.
Now, your government, the Albanese government, has already pledged to stop surcharges on card payments, but how does this go further?
Well, I guess I believe that digital payments should be cheaper to use than the non-digital alternative in cash, and they're not treated the same. So when you tap a card, it should be cheaper, but it's more expensive. So that's where this whole process started around August last year. When it's your own money, we're being charged an exorbitant amount to use it. So for debit-style payments, that is whether you tap a card, whether you use a mobile wallet, or whether there's account-to-account transactions, either through QR code, or OSCO or BPay, our submission is saying that those debit-style payments should be treated like cash and should be fee-free.
You've also called it a rort, and it's confusing, isn't it? Because we don't know often how big the surcharge is going to be and what it's for.
It is a rort because when we had evidence from the big four banks in August last year, when I started asking about this stuff, they all confirmed that it's cheaper for them to transact in digital payments than it is for them to transact in cash. Yet we're in this upside-down world, Mike, where it costs us more to use digital payments than cash. So to me, that doesn't make sense. To me, that's why we've seen this topic sort of really blow up. I mean, payments is probably one of the most boring topics you could talk to about someone, but when they see that 8 cents or that $10 or $5, if you go to a motor mechanic and you get your car serviced, you're paying $5, $6, $7, I mean, because they're a small operator. This all exists because the costs are so high. Why are they so high? The surcharging regulation is probably past its use-by date and needs reform. The RBA are going through a review at the moment, and I thought it was important on behalf of our constituencies, but also over 5,000 people who signed my petition, that we have our say too, and wrote the submission.
Jerome, it's been an interesting experience for me being in Sydney. I'm normally in Perth, and the surcharges don't happen over there. The price is the price. By and large, that's the case. I was surprised when I was grabbing a coffee down the road here that every time there's a 1.8% charge. Is the danger that someone has to pay for the technology? If we say, OK, we're doing away with the charges, it's just going to be built into the price and we won't see how it's built into the price?
Well, I think it's important the RBA is also addressing costs, so it's surcharging and costs. And within the cost, there's huge inequity. So if you're a small business, you're charged anywhere from 1.5% to 2.5% to accept digital fees. If you're a big business like Coles or Woolworths, you're charged 0.0001%, right? So on $100, Coles and Woolworths, their cost is 1 or 2 cents. On $100, a small business is charged $1.50 or $2. So if the small businesses, if that inequity is addressed, then there'll be next to no need to surcharge, because I understand a cost. 1 or 2 cents on $100 makes sense, and that's something a small business can absorb. $2, $3 on $100, then that's a very different proposition. It's unfair, it's a rort, and it needs to be addressed.
Your suggestion is relates to debit cards, doesn't it? Not credit cards, because we accept that credit is a different situation.
Yeah. Look, there's differing views on this, and this is why the RBA is doing their consultation. Some suggest banning all surcharges altogether. I think it's more appropriate for debit for a number of reasons. One, it's your own money, so it's cash that comes straight out of your account. You're not borrowing money on 55 days. There's no Qantas points, all that stuff, right? So, and secondly, the Australian banks own the Australian debit network. So EFTPOS is already owned by the banks. And they're not using it to its full potential because they've got really good relationships with Visa and MasterCard. So the system's there. OSCO for account-to-account payments, the National Payments Platform, EFTPOS, they're all there. Let's use them and let's mandate a fee-free payment option at the checkout for consumers and small businesses.
Sounds good. Good on you, Jerome. Thanks for coming in.
No worries.
Jerome Laxale, the Labor